the kind of person I can talk, but I'm not the type of talking that can deliver a connection from being on because I can talk. I have no problem speaking. It's long, brother. Read our divine constitution. Our divine constitution of Moorish America. Act 1. The Grand Chief and the Chairman of Moorish America are empowered to make laws and enforce laws with the assistance of the Prophet and the Grand Body of Moorish America. The Assistant Grand Chief to assist the Grand Chief in all affairs. If he lives according to love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice, and is known before the citizens of Moorish America. The bylaws. Act 2. All meetings are to be open and closed promptly according to the civil self in love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Fridays are a holy day of rest because on the Friday the first man was formed in the flesh, and on the Friday the first man departed out of the flesh and ascended unto his Father God of law. For that cause Friday is the holy day of all martyrs all over the world. Love, Act 3. Love, peace, freedom, and justice must be proclaimed and practiced by all citizens of Moorish America. No citizen is to put in danger or accuse falsely his brother or sister on any occasion at all that may harm his brother or sister because of law is love. Act 4. All citizens must preserve these holy and divine laws, and all citizens must obey the laws of the government. By being Moorish American, you are part and parcel of the government and must live like according. Act 5. No organization of Moorish America is to cause any confusion or to overthrow the laws and constitution of the said government hereby but to obey. Said government but to obey hereby. Act 6. With us, all citizens must proclaim their nationality, and we are teaching our people their nationality and their divine creed, that we may know that they are part and parcel of this said government, and know that they are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians, because these names were given to slaves by slave holders in 1779 and lasted until 1865 during the time of slavery. But this is a new era of time now, and all means now must proclaim their free national name to be recognized by the government in which they live and the nations of the earth. This is the reason why Allah, the great God of the universe, ordained no majority the prophet to redeem his people for their sinful ways. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northern, western shores, northern, western, and southwestern shores of Africa. Act 7. All citizens must promptly attend their meetings and become a part and parcel of all uplifting acts of Moorish America. Moorish America must pay their dues and keep in line with all necessities of Moorish America. And then you are entitled to the name of faithful. Husbands, you must support your wife and children. Wife, you must obey your husbands and take care of your children and look after the duties of your household. Sons and daughters must obey the father and mother and become industrious and become a part of the uplifting fall of humanity. All Moorish Americans must keep their hearts and minds pure with love and their bodies clean with water. This divine covenant is from your holy prophet, Noble Ali, through the guidance of his father, God Allah. Prophet Noble Ali, peace and blessings be upon him, father and framer of the divine constitution and bylaws of Moorish America, Islam. In case I didn't mention, my name is Amin Abdul Rahman Bey. My commanding high name is Nassim Seti Sahou Bey. I'm from the South Carolina Territory, and we're giving this lecture today, and we're here to bring our people into the consciousness of why it's important in order for us to unite and come together and unify, and how you have to develop love. And you have to develop love in a way that it will not allow you to restrict or hinder or hold your hand, on your people when you see that they're in need. And a lot of times, when I look back at what I went through in life, and then I realized why I was here. Because I'm the kind of person, no matter what somebody did to me, I can forgive them. You know what I'm saying? I can welcome them in. I remember Brother Malik El-Bey told me something when I first came in. He said, brother, some people can make you feel a certain type way, but you have to be wise. You speak to them. Because a lot of times, what we do, we take people for granted. You don't speak to the person, and you go on about your business, and then when something happens, the person might say, I ain't like him anyway. But y'all might have had some, rough edges back in the day, but when you see him, you speak, and he may say, that brother all right. And then it allows you, to go on, and you won't bring that foolishness into your life. And sometimes we have to be know how to let things go, and know how, because we have to appeal to our people because this thing is serious. You know, and our topic is dealing with love, heritage, and the transformation of mental slavery to freedom and self-mastery. You know, so love is first, and you know, we really don't know what love is other than what we was taught in this system. You know, it make us think love is between the sheets. I remember when my girls was younger, I took them on YouTube and I showed them every time they show us when it comes to love, it basically have two people in bed. You know, but then when you look at the European, he show you more family structure where he actually doing something and being creative about how to govern themselves in life. You know, so where our understanding of love comes in at, you know, and then it's just the brainwashing that we went through. Even when the people hear the truth, they don't want to receive it because they got so used to the mind, meaning the falsehood, you know, the confusion, or they accepted the way of life. A young brother wanted to speak. He wanted to read something, and I want him to do that before I go into what I want to read to y'all. I was introduced to him today. What's the brother's name? It was Harrison Thompson. You come on up, brother. He wanted to read something to y'all about the Moors. Can you speak loud enough? That one on? Check it. The other one?
Hello? Okay. Hi, my name is Harrison Thompson, and I want to share what I have learned about the Moors. The origin of the English term Moor is the Greek word marva, which literally means black, blackened, or charred, and has long been used to describe black or very dark things. One prominent Moor from our time is Prophet Noble Drew Ali, the founder of the Moorish Science Temple of America. Born Timothy Drew in 1889 in Sampson County, North Carolina, little is known about his early life. We can only assume the horrors he had to face living in the South after the Civil War. As a young man, he longed to travel to the East, so he went to Egypt at the age of 18. In Egypt, he had the opportunity to visit the great universities, sit with the Egyptian sages, travel through the inner chambers of the pyramid, and also learn the origin of the slave trade. By being in Egypt, he could see for himself that the Moors had laws, science, math, art, dignity, citizenship, and power over the land. He went to Egypt as Timothy Drew and returned with the name Ali. The prophet was inspired with this origin and returned to America to claim his people, to raise them up as clean, self-respectable, upright citizens who descended from a glorious race of people. After he returned to the U.S., he began his mission leading the congregation about the history of the Moors. He declared, "You are not Negroes, colored folks, black people, or Ethiopians. The Moorish Americans are the descendants of the ancient Moabites who inhabited the northwestern and southwestern shores of Africa." Drew Ali's untimely death in 1929 resulted in a split of the Moorish Science Temple. The influence of the Moors can be found all over the planet. The Moors who ruled Spain for 800 years introduced the new scientific techniques to Europe, such as the astrolabe, a device for measuring the position of the stars, planets, and they had scientific progress in astronomy, chemistry, physics, mathematics, geography, and philosophy, flourished in Moorish Spain. At its height, Cordova, the heart of the Moorish city in Europe, the streets were well paved with raised sidewalks for pedestrians. During the night, 10 miles of street lamps were well illuminated by lamps. This was hundreds of years before there was a paved street in Paris or a street lamp in London. Cordova had 900 public baths. We are told that a poor Moor would go without bread rather than soap. Education was universal in Moorish Spain, and it was available to all. While in Christian Europe, 99% of the population were illiterate, and even kings could neither read nor write. At that time, Europe had only 2 universities, and the Moors had 7 great universities. The Moors were defeated in Spain in 1492 at the fall of Granada. The contributions of the Moors have largely been destroyed. Books and manuscripts were burned, forced conversion to Christianity closing of the mosques and synagogues, and expelling and relocating to the Moors to other parts of Europe. What Noble Drew Lee taught at the Moorish Science Temple and what I have learned is that our history is much more beautiful and complex than what we have been led to believe. Not only were we the great in Africa, but all over the planet. There is no place in the world that has not been enriched, improved, and uplifted by the contribution of the Moors.
Islam. And I'm gonna tell y'all what I received now, right? He was talking about Spain. Spain not the only place. I remember the chairman told me one time our people, they run from responsibility. My level of knowledge at that time wasn't there. But then the more I sat back and I started studying and I started looking at things, the way things are, it's true. You know, I can take care of my family doing everything right. They're not looking at me as an individual, they look at us as a whole. See, and we have to understand that. And we sitting here in a way praying and wishing and hoping, and the ones you praying and wishing and hoping for is you. You wait on yourself. We hold our own salvation up. And we don't understand that. See, when the Moors, right, as our sister Grand Sheik said, right, how did they build Tripoli, Tunis, Morocco? How did they build those places? It was already in them. When they walked on the land, everything that was in them came out. You see what I'm saying? And that's the same thing with us. We got to take back the Americas. We got to take out our own infrastructure. We have to put convalescent homes in place. We have to have our own housing authority. But the good thing is we're going to be freed up. We're going to have no kind of mortgage. We're not going to pay taxes. Because people have to be able to think. We have to re-educate our people. You know, because I learned something, and it's true. If really we living, or our people is living a savage lifestyle and don't even realize it. They really think that they're human, but they're not. If you look at their behaviors and the things that they do, and then when we do make money, guess what we want to do? We want to go out to the sports bar. You know, we want to go over here and talk about this or that, and we think that's life, and we're going to let somebody else take care of the world. See, we got to come back now. We are the torchbearers. That's why they say love and heritage. See, it's one thing to go back and look at your heritage. Now, but what it's showing you, all of this came from you. All this came from us. And we are the ancient ones returned. And we got to look at ourselves and see that we are those who are returned. We all knew something was wrong in life. If we didn't, we wouldn't be here right now today. All of us had that thought something just wasn't right. And we couldn't put our finger on it, the time wasn't right. You know, because 5 years ago, I'm going to be 55 next month. So I was 50. And I might have heard the word nationality. 50 years old. Another couple said he was 60, and he's 60. It flew across their minds too. And it's a shame that you live all those years, and if you heard the word, you didn't catch it or comprehend it. But it's bad to say you just don't even know what it is, or don't even believe you ever even heard it. And the nationality is very important because that's what gives the people the true protection. That what makes them citizens of a particular government. That what takes you out of this, what we have now, 13th, 14th, 15th Amendment, that they put us under with the word person in the 14th Amendment. See, and re-enslaved us under that. Then the United States of America lost their sovereignty in 1871 because of that. See, and a lot of people, but really, I ain't say they lost it, they really gave it up because they saw it was more profitable to have people work as cattle slavery than it was to actually be a country, you know. And that's the kind of stuff, man, it's just mind blowing how they sat back and they never had any intentions on writing this in. Then they keep changing our names every so many years. I ask people all the time. I say, what if I call you black? Do you accept that? What if I call you colored? What about African American? And I say Negro, they look funny. I say it's the same thing. Mm-hmm. It's the exact same thing. Somebody playing a game with us, you know. And then I go through the thing, as you all know, there's no such thing as black people. You know, you can't go nowhere in the world and find anybody that calls themselves black. But when we look at our history and we see people that look like us, we say, see, they look black people right there, but things here, they'll tell you who they are. And now we know it took us to come to this far to realize now when a person has a nationality, it ties them to a land. That's just like having the Chinese, you got Chinese, you got China. German, German. If I say I'm Australia, you got Australia. I'm Nigeria, you got Nigeria. You know, your nationality comes first, then the continent or the landmass in which you're from. You know, like the Chinese come here, it's the Chinese American, and so forth. Man, some things came to my mind. Elijah Muhammad said something that messed with black man on page 34, for those who are in the Nation of Islam. Page 34, he said, how are we representing ourselves as black people? And he went on to say, never in ancient time, and that's the word that Noah Drawley used, because he was taught under Noah Drawley. He said, never was there in ancient time of people ever called a Negro or colored person. He left out the word black, but still, if you think it, he knew in time we would come to understand he's trying to get us to see there is no such people. And then he said, if you go back and study history, you'll see that it never was. I was in the Nation of Islam, and I know Ms. Farrakhan telling us straight up, it wasn't meant for us to stay there. And I couldn't see that then, what he was really saying. That was a luncheon pad. That's what they did. I said, man, now the older ones that was there with me, they remember that. They told it was a luncheon pad to get us started, because they knew it was something else. They knew it was something more. You know, but a lot of them now, they got stuck, you know, because the whole thing is around being black. But anyhow, I want to read y'all something I think is very important. It deals with duality. And this is the book our grand chairman had wrote called The Zulu Nation. This is a bad book. I think everyone should get it. I think I seen Brother James walking out in Spring Park.
Yeah, he was.
Yeah. This brother Sekou. He have these books here for sale. And the book, if I'm correct, is 64.
Actually, bro, they actually went up.
Okay.
You know, I didn't know that. When you brother sent it to me,
Yes, sir.
it's $69.
What?
So they actually went up.
Okay. And you know, it's a shame because if you ever been on Amazon, you saw it at 5,000. You saw it at 3,000. They don't want the book in our people in it.
That's right.
You know, and when you read this here, anything that you ever learned, anything that you ever thought, it's gonna reshape your whole view and it's gonna take you to a higher level. Now, Brother James is my Moorish brother, but he's not a part of the government, but when the brother reads the book, you can't tell that he's not. When he speaks, you can't tell that he's not. You know, the brother seen plenty, sometimes we have what we call dirty Moors. And the brother told me something that kind of messed me up. He said, bro, I believe in you. See, and then he opened up his doors to me. Anytime the chairman wanted to come, I wouldn't even have to pay. I said, brother, we have to give you something. You know. But the brother had plenty of people come to his bookstore and give lectures and whatnot. You know. But that was I appreciate the brother for that. Pleasant, they told us about who to get the book from, and the brothers to get them ever since, and we have sold a lot of the things that make our people conscious enough to know that we need to come among each other and work out whatever our difference is so we can build. But anyways, duality. Another degree of the fall of man was into the delusionist state of duality. This state is pure mental corruption and is self-imposed psychological double vision at its best. Victims of duality rarely knows their own abusive mental condition because the mind has become accustomed to Maya and the tricks being played. Maya causes the real to appear as unreal and unreal to seem real. Upon the spirit of the plane of life, everything is in harmony with every other thing until all is one. Love, truth, peace, freedom, light, and sound is God, and that is all. That is the natural plane of purity from which man naturally feeds himself. In this material world, all that's in it and around it is a reflection of God. Like images in a mirror, it is in the semblance of the truth. Love and light, but is false, full of illusions and what seems to be. This is the world that Adam saw as his two eyes of flesh slowly opened and his eyes of wisdom closed from lack of use. Through the third eye, the eye of soul could see God in spirit substance far too fine for fleshly eyes to see. Pure thought activation, or pure thought acting. The third eye, whereas the carnal vision limits of the physical eye, could only watch for the carnal mind. The ancient Egyptian mystery taught, the power perfected thought. The outward and inward sight gave Adam his first taste of forbidden duality, which began his storage of human knowledge and interest into the substance of the plane of flesh and the plane of soul, a way of life where competition, conflict, and war got their rise. Man created demigods of carnal love and hate. He then imprisoned them in fatigues, times between the birth and death of flesh. The fatigue is what man knows, what man now calls life on earth. And a lot of people tell you, you know, basically, a lot of us had accepted this way of life. Some was truly fighting in the beginning, but they got beat down and they just got tired and wore out. You know, they just got work, you know, they just got tired, you know, and they just gave in. Because they found it to be a hard job. It's a hard job trying to wake our people up. That's the hardest job in America. You know, I understand a lot now. You know, and if you really, you know, when you really want to accomplish something, deal with us. That's going to show who you really are. You know, some people think they're wise because they can go out in the world and they can make certain things happen. No, deal with your own. Raise them up. Get them out of the condition that they in. You know. See, one thing about me, like I say, I learned a lot. I developed a lot of principles when I was in the nation. See, I came to the Moors. I never heard Moors till I got 50. See, that's, I mean, it's crazy. But anyway, because of other things I learned now, then I learned they had a bad rap. So because of what I learned before, I made a conscious decision. I came in saying I'm going to prove that the Moors is not what they say they are. Because a lot of them, every time they got caught up on paperwork. They're trying to get you money for this. They're trying to do this and that. So I came in consciously knowing all the negativity. Because I was willing to stand to show that this is who the Moors is. Because I always wanted to be like the angel Gabriel. Not knowing that my destiny was to be like God. And that's deep. You know, how you come into a world, and then I started hearing about this angel Gabriel, and I was like, man, he didn't hear that on that God asked him. And I said, man, I would like to be like that. I remember there was a point in time when I did something wrong, I want to take my own life. That's just how serious I was about it. But then I had got a balance on that because other things started happening to other people that didn't let me sit back how, you know, not having a proper understanding of something, you would hurt yourself because of how you have this conviction towards something, you know. And so it was just a blessing for me to get the things that I did get, because it helped me get to this point. But just like a lot of you, some of you might be just like me. Man, I don't want to live. I didn't care if I lived and died. You know, it just didn't matter. But getting back to love and heritage and the transformation of mental slavery into freedom and self-mastery. You have to understand and know what true freedom really is, and how you go about getting true freedom, and how to accomplish that. And it's going to come through study. This ain't going to be no easy walk. You have to study, you know. And a lot of us, we don't want to study. We don't want to put in the work. We don't want to put in the time. But you have to study and come into it. One of the things that I want to share is Hidden Colors did a, I think it was Hidden Colors 4. They did a segment on Haiti. It was one of 4 or 5. And they were showing the first thing Haiti did when they got free, they established a constitution. Our Grand National Chairman, what he did in order for our people to be free, one of the first things they did was they recognized what Noble Drew Ali brought. He gave them a constitution. See, and he told them as time go on, he would hand them down their higher laws. See, when he first gave it to them, they thought this was just subordinate to the temple. But it wasn't subordinate to the temple. They thought, they didn't even really look at the significance of it. So now I had to go back and study what is the Constitution. You know, something that was outside of my realm. I had to develop myself because I wanted to see where I was going. Am I going in the right direction? Do this represent the Constitution? So that's the kind of stuff, you know, then I had to go and say, well, I had to go find stuff, how do you go about even establishing a government? And the more I did that, everything that I heard them say was lining up, lining up, lining up. So I don't have a doubt about what it is. But I want to give you something about the power of a free national constitution. A constitution of the people is what gives them power to be recognized as a sovereign nation. The Constitution of the people gives them power to all official stations of their government, chief, chairman, divine minister, and motif. Beware, those who claim their national title without being authorized by their constituted free national government are only practicing while remaining within the confines of an organization duly incorporated within the state jurisdiction of another man's government. In this system here, we can't be a man or a woman. And I found out later, that when somebody is charged with child support, that when they have the man sign the paper, it doesn't even say father. They have the word saying it's applicable, meaning when you look it up, one who agreed to a debt. And he agreed to be locked up. I said, what? And the mother, who thinks she's a mother, exactly, they make her a guardian. And she come out there, she be proud. But the state owned their child. Now our people have to go, which we saw right here, and other people saw in many states. You can't even, when it comes down to it, you can't really even protect your child in this system. A police can snatch your child up, and then if you interfere, your child will lock you up if you interfere. So it's stuff like that, man, I try to make my people conscious about. Because you're going around here, and you acting like you this man, and women, you got to really look at why she do the things she do. Because it's her nature. Her nature is to be secure. So if you got another person, they build schools, they build hospitals, and they got all kinds of stuff going. They got aviation going. They got a whole government, and they provide the services, in international trade. And then you get mad because she may gravitate towards that, but not understanding her nature and what your responsibility is. Then you become frustrated, and then because of the mental slavery that we was taught, we don't really know how to do anything for ourselves, and we look for somebody else to do it. So how you be riding down the street, I wish they put a Walmart over there. So you set the thought out, now they build a Walmart, and you go to it. But it's up, man, because we're going to actually do this thing, but it takes unity, and it really takes unity, and we have to understand that there's no protection under the system. When you understand who you are, the courts know it, they have no power over you. But as long as you don't know who you are, guess what? They got power over you. Because when you walk in that courtroom, they have what they call a summa jurisdiction. I know my friend, he got his friend off of child support. His brother didn't want to listen to him. See, it's about your status. There are two things in law, which is status and jurisdiction. And his brother didn't want to take the time out to learn what it is that he needed to learn. So his brother, man, but after he started getting hit several times, he ran back to his brother. But still, he don't want to have nothing to do with it. His brother got him off child support. But he don't want to go farther to see what it is. And then, it's somehow you get, like the chairman said, he used to free a whole lot of people. He had to stop because none of them is in the government. And a lot of times, man, people go around, they want to get out of something, but they don't want to do what it is to help free other people up. See, and that's where you have to develop that certain type of love and have that undying love, really. And have to be conscious enough that even if they do something to you, you don't have a bad thought in your mind about them. A lot of times, people, they can't do that. Me, I can argue with you 1 minute, turn right back around, I ain't got no problem. Some people, they gonna hold that grudge on. But me, I have to get out what it is I have to say. But other than that, I ain't holding that. But I'm gonna say what I have to say. The Constitution of the people empowers the individual to be man and woman and to live their life accordingly. The Constitution of the people empowers them to rule all organizations, public education, publications, abuse, events, citizens, actions, jurisdiction, and due process. The Constitution gives power to establish national laws of protection and guidance of the citizens and to encourage peace and harmony with the nations of the earth. The Constitution of the people expresses autonomy and character through its government. The Constitution of the people gives power to make laws and enforce laws according to the religious, civic, and political needs of the people. And I used to have a dream when I was little. I didn't know why I dreamed. I used to have a dream that I always woke up at the same time. It's almost like the Islamic Muslims do. And I was small. Everything was in harmony. Everybody, I remember my first time even praying what I wanted to do, but I just wanted to just be right. I took the position that you see the Muslims take, and never even saw that before. And then I used to have that dream when I was little. Then when I was insecure, and a lot of y'all might have did the same thing, I used to get on my knees in the bed and put the covers over me, because I had a lot of insecurities, but it gave me security, you know. And it's something to come to this point now and see what it is that we have to do as a people. We have to make a way for our children. We have to make a way for ourselves. And we have to stop playing with it, and we have to learn how to unite with each other. But I'm going to bring mine to a close. I just want to touch on that. Okay, all right. So, but anyway, you know, it's just that I'm looking at the day that we can work out whatever it is. First, you got to work out with yourself. You know, God, I used to be with myself a lot. So God have a way when you're alone. You know, you have to deal with yourself. And I'm gonna give you an example I'm talking about. I don't mind talking about myself. When I was young, I remember going to school. I never was, you know, in the in crowd. And I remember just talking about this guy named Terry. And they said, man, Terry, and I was sitting there thinking to myself. And I said, I don't think he is. And everybody turned around like, what, you punk, this and that? So, you know, I say, I ain't think the man was ugly. So I went home and I asked God, I said, God, you know, punk. You know, I'm asking God this, because I always talk to God like that. And I was trying to figure out where he was coming from. Then I started questioning myself. I said, do I like me in that way? And I was like, no. Then I said, no. You know what I'm saying? But those are the kind of thoughts that I have. But some people can't be real with themselves like that. You know, and the real war, as we teach, you know, goes on within. You know, and a lot of people, they can't be honest with themselves like that. See, so that's why I don't have no problem standing. See, a lot of people don't know that, because there were certain things I had already dealt with myself with. You know, but I have to be more diplomatic. I have to learn how to be more tactful. You know, I'm the kind of person, I'm coming in straight. I've always been like that. You know, even my mother tells me that. You know, I love my mother, but she'll tell you in a minute, my son gonna stick straight to it, whatever the people I even know. You know, like I was telling my brother James. Matter of fact, even Larry said it's only a short period of time. There's that brother right there. You better come to him right. And that's how I've always been. I cut no corners. You know, I may make some mistakes, but guess what? It ain't intentional. But I'm gonna stay whole to what it is that I know that is true, and believe me. I don't like these words believe, but I'm gonna put it like that. But I'm whole to that. And be careful what you tell me. See, because sometimes people get relaxed around you. Anyway, you know, because you don't know the principle somebody may hold. And I've realized that about myself, because I didn't know it at first. I even turned myself in. When I was in the next year's law, it was like, what? Because see, you don't know a person. So, you know, you have sometimes you don't know. Sometimes I may get ready to say something, the person finished my conversation, but I wasn't going in that direction. Now I not peeped into their mind. Now they saw that I seen them, so now they have to create something. You see what I'm saying? You know, to make it seem other than what it is. See, and that's why I be telling people sometimes, I say, man, be careful what you tell me. Because I don't care how close we get. Even when it comes to my wife, I don't even, oh man, this thing is deep about this government here, because you have to know how to secure your family. I have to make sure my wife is secure when she go around other citizens or, you know, or believers, like, you know, among us. Because let's say I have a problem with something I have, I can't express that in front of her, because I don't want to taint her spirit, and that's how we have to be careful of, because then what she may freely go and do, she may not do now. You see what I'm saying? So we have to be wise in all our ways and actions, you know. And a lot of times people don't think like that, you know. And I sit back and I look at something, you know. Me and my brother here, we get an argument, we can talk it out and keep going. Some people can't do that, you know. They can't do that. And I'm gonna bring my brother up. Brother Gerald Hamid Muhammad Bey from South Carolina.